sir. Sir. Good morning, sir. I'm here to present a seminar, a project on the topic iris recognition for personal authentication. Now, we usually chose this project mainly because of the security issues, sir. As the security issues are increasing, that is the main reason why we chose our project. Now, let me introduce you to what an iris is. Next slide, please. Now, photon.
विश्वा को स्लाइड से आगे साइड में जाने के लिए बोल.
Okay, introduction part, we're gonna see what the biometrics is, and why are biometrics used, and how the biometrics are today. Now, what are biometrics? Does anyone here have an idea what biometrics is?
Biological password.
Not exactly a biological password. Anyone else? No? Okay, the biometrics is nothing but it's a life measurement tool. Now, we usually use this life measurement tool for identification process. Now, in biometrics, we have two types. One is verification part, and the other one is identification part.
ಇವಾಗ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲ ಎಂಡಲ್ಲಿ ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಇರಲ್ಲ ಅದು ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮುಗಿಸ್ಬಿಡೋಣ ಎಲ್ಲ ನೀವು ಮಾಡ್ಯೂಲ್ ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ಆಗಬೇಕು ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಡೆಫಿನೇಷನ್ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಲ್ಲ ನಂದು ಇಂಟ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಷನ್ ನಂದು ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಿಸಿದ್ರೆ ಡೆಫಿನೇಷನ್ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ನಾನು ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ನೀವೇನಾ
Okay. So there are two parts in biometrics. One is verification, one is the identification part. Now, what is verification part is, like if I want to access a door, if I have to access this door here, and if I have my image stored in this database, the college website database. Now, the verification part says that if I have the access here, directly I can access the door and come into the door. Now, identification part is, if I want any particular face here to be identified, I'll just take the picture as a whole. And then I'll take whatever image I want, I'll take the image. Okay, so that's what the biometrics is. Now, why are biometrics used? As I told earlier, biometrics is usually used for verification and identification process. And how biometrics is today? Biometrics has grown to such an extent where an iris can be used as a security purpose. Next slide, please. As you can see the picture, this is an iris structure here. The grey part is called, this part is called, this is called the pupil. And the white part here, outside this is called the sclera. And this is the filicary part, this part. This is a fibrous tissue. Next slide. And here, now most people get confused with what a retina is and what an iris is. Now this is what we call a retina. It's at the back of the iris. And the parts here, this part, this is called the vitreous, the choroid, and the macula here. And as I said, this is the pupil, the middle one. This is the pupil. Next slide. I'm going to take you through a video which will explain what exactly an iris is. Play the video. saw in the video, this part, this is called the iris. And this will not grow after the age of 2.
Okay, so the topic is all about biometrics. We all know that there are so many kinds of biometrics today, and the most commonly used biometrics are here. I guess everyone here is aware of this. Of all these authentication types. So let me tell you each and everything about these authentication types. So the first one is fingerprint technology. I guess everyone have seen the HP laptops. In that laptop, we use fingerprint technology. There where we use a fingerprint as a password, and then this password is stored. This copy is stored in the database, and that database is matched whenever the user wants to log in. The image is matched with the fingerprint, with the database, and the user logs in. And advantages of that fingerprint technology is accuracy is very high, and it is cheap. Next. And the disadvantage of fingerprint recognition is that we can use that for criminal identification, and you can easily hack that account. So we go for the next type, that is voice recognition. So in the voice, okay. I think everyone is aware of these things. So let me not talk about these things. Okay, let me not talk about these things. I'll tell you about iris. Let me tell you how iris is different and better than this. So I'll tell you, iris is very unique. You know, even twins cannot have the same iris. And you might think that the left iris can be the same as the right iris. That is the wrong assumption. The left iris is not similar to your right iris. Even that differs. So this is how it is very unique, and we have selected that as a project.
As we saw a lot of other biometrics which was used before for better security purpose, but many of the biometrics failed due to one or the other disadvantages. And we are discussing about iris. I'm going to explain how exactly or why exactly iris recognition is better when compared to that of other biometrics. In iris recognition system, it's a simple process where image of a person is taken, and not the whole image of a person is taken. It's just the eye which is concentrated more, and a high resolution picture of eye is obtained. And it doesn't require much of a time for a process of taking the photography of eye. When in retina scanning, as we know, we need to have inches of difference between the biometrics and our eye for the retina to be scanned, because it's a slow process and it takes a lot of time when compared to that of other biometrics. And in iris recognition, the distance between the system is not so close, and the person can be identified from a far off distance. And the way and the medium through which the retina is scanned is near infrared. Actually, the iris retina scanning uses infrared rays which are not so safe. It might harm our vision. And here we are using near infrared, which is not going to harm our eyes. And in the iris recognition process, as I said, it doesn't take much of a time for iris recognition to occur. It's like a process of 1 to 2 seconds for a particular It's a process of 1 to 2 seconds for a particular person to be identified, and to process the data is very fast, and the iris code which is going to be saved is a bit code which can be compared, and the process of comparison is very fast.
Next is the major characteristics of iris recognition. The first is it's a thin membrane on the interior of the eyeball. Now the iris pattern remains unchanged after the age of 2, as I said. And the third one is, it is extremely complex because of the other patterns. That is because, as my fellow mate said, the left iris is different from the right iris. That is the main reason why it is. Now the typical iris system configuration is, it takes a black and white picture, and then it uses a non-invasive. Non-invasive is you won't know the rays coming into your eyes, and then it will focus on it and then it will capture the image. And the third one is, this iris recognition cannot take place without your permission. Unless you stand in front of the camera, it won't work. Next is the iris recognition systems.
This is a basic system. Basic system in the sense, it is a child, like how iris recognition system was first came into existence and how the iris recognition system was. It had a camera, as you can see in the diagram, block diagram. A camera captures the person's face. We have just written it as a block, and it might be present in the particular system where the person is, or it might be registered in a other network. So it can also be accessed from a network, and the process of scanning can be carried out from a farther place. If a person, for example, take a company like IBM, which is located in all over the world, and when a person is identified by his iris, the information which is captured may be stored in India. A person from India goes abroad, and that person, when he goes abroad, when this recognition system happens, once the image is captured, it will take few seconds to search a lot of record to get what or who the person is and authenticate him. As I said before, what are the advantages of this particular system with other biometric systems? Often, I think many of you are confused what exactly opt-in means. Opt-in is nothing but there are many fluctuations which happen when other biometric system work. As you have observed, when a fingerprint recognition happens, there is a fluctuation. The process of scanning, once when you swipe your finger, sometimes it doesn't take in the correct input. There might be a fluctuation of fingerprint recognition, and it might ask you to re-come or re-swipe for the recognition to take place. So that is nothing but opt-in. Accurate in the sense, as we all discussed, the iris pattern is very unique. 1 out of 2 lakh people will have a unique 1,20,000. I guess a friend will tell you the accurate number. It will be unique for many persons, and stability, as I said before, the iris doesn't change after 2 years. It is same. Fast, as I said before, the process of scanning is more scalable. I think you all understand what scalable is. It is measurable.
Okay, let us compare our iris recognition system with the other biometrics. You can see the other biometrics is compared with the iris here, and you can see the third column where 1 out of 700 is the mistake error rate in that palm recognition, and whereas the face 1 out of 100. So this is quite better when compared with palm. So in signature recognition system, it is 1 out of 100, and the security is low as well. And in voice recognition system, 1 out of 30. So it is a very low security type system. And in the fingerprint, it is 1 out of 1000. It is quite better when compared to other systems. And when you see the iris recognition system, it is 1 out of 1,20,000. So according to, when compared with this, that is the most best thing and the best authentication type. So the technology used is, it Okay, the software requirements is we have used Java Swings and Java Applets, and hardware requirements is any basic system will allow the installation of this iris recognition system, and it does not need any hi-fi configuration. So hard disk can be of 40 GB, and the RAM can be of 256 MB, and the processor, any Pentium processor, any basic processor. And these are the references that we have referred to. Thank you. Do you have any questions?
No questions.